am making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2022. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2022. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Here.
Councilman David? Here. Councilman Pipistrella?
Here.
Councilman Pence?
Here.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman?
Here.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and council meeting of March 16, 2022?
Make a motion. Second.
Motion made by Councilman Zimmerman, seconded by Councilman Pipistrella. All in favor?
Aye.
Various advisories were received from the New Jersey State League of Municipalities. Kenilworth Historical Letter, Society Letter of Appreciation was received. New Jersey DOT Award for Highway Safety Fund for $2,533. And a letter from the Union County Kids Recreation Grant requesting a status update. Reports were received for March for Clerk's Office, Fire Department, Police, and Building Departments.
Is there a motion to accept communications and reports?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Councilman Pipistrella, second. Zimmerman, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I have two proclamations this evening. One proclamation is recognizing court-appointed special advocates. It's called CASA. And the second proclamation is, wait a minute.
Youth Week.
Yep, the Youth Week honoring America's junior citizens. Okay. Whereas the Borough of Kenilworth and the State of New Jersey recognizes the problem of child abuse and neglect and is committed to helping its victims, and whereas court-appointed special advocates, CASA, of Union County recruits, trains, supports, and supervises community volunteers as advocates for children who have been removed from their home due to neglect or abuse. CASA establishes and maintains effective relationships with the Family Court, the Division of Child Protection and Permanency, Child Placement Review Board, Office of the Public Defender, Legal Aid, and other child-serving agencies, institutions, in order to create a cooperative environment in which to best meet the needs of children. Now, therefore, I, Linda Karlovich, the Mayor of Kenilworth, hereby do proclaim April 2022 as court-appointed special advocate of Union County in the city of Kenilworth, and urge all residents become aware of the work and mission of CASA of Union County. Let it be known that we support the education efforts to raise awareness of the CASA program at the local level and the need for community members to provide a voice for the children in foster care. I have a form here. You can become a CASA volunteer, and it really helps children. They're more likely to find a safe and permanent home, and they're more likely to succeed in school, and they're half as likely to re-enter the child welfare system. So if anyone has some love in their heart, they want to volunteer for CASA and give to a foster child, you can go on Union County website, and there's information to join up. www.casaofunioncounty.org. Okay, the second proclamation I have is the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks has designated May 1st to the 7th as Youth Week to honor America's junior citizens for their accomplishments and to give fitting recognition for their service to community, state, and nation. And whereas Union Elks Lodge number 1583 will sponsor an observance during that week in tribute to the junior citizens of this community. And whereas no event could be more deserving of our support and participation than one dedicated to these young people who represent the nation's greatest resource, and who, in the years ahead, will assume the responsibility for the advancement of our free society. And whereas our youth need the guidance, inspiration, and encouragement which we alone can give in order to help develop those qualities of character essential for future leadership and go forth to serve America. And whereas to achieve this worthy objective, we should demonstrate our partnership with youth, our understanding of their hopes and aspirations, and a sincere willingness to help prepare them in every way for the responsibilities and opportunities of citizenship. Now, therefore, I, Linda Karlovich, Mayor of Kenilworth, New Jersey, do hereby proclaim the first week in May as Youth Week, and urge all departments of government, civic, fraternal, and patriotic groups, and our citizens generally to participate wholeheartedly in its observance. In witness hereof, I hereunto set my hand this 20th day of April in the year of our Lord 2022. Okay. I received a letter, and I'd like to read it, from Shirley Maxwell. I know most of you are aware that our Borough Clerk and Administrator has left, and our Deputy Clerk, Kathy, has really stepped up in keeping us above water and working really hard, and spending a lot of hours here at night and on the weekend, and really, thank you, doing an amazing job, and we really appreciate it. And I received this letter, and I would like to share it with everyone. Dear Mayor Linda Karlovich and members of the Borough Council, thank you so much for having the Borough staff, on the Borough staff such a highly competent, dedicated, trustworthy, caring person as Kathy Moshida. I agree with that. Over the course of many years, including those in which Kathy played a vital role on the Kenilworth Centennial Committee, I have observed and admired her ability to carry out her role as deputy clerk in the most proficient, articulate, decisive, effective manner. Time and again, she has demonstrated not only exceptional professionalism, but also genuine compassion in thoughtfully and respectfully addressing the needs of countless individuals, businesses, and organizations requiring various forms of assistance. Now, as Kathy is called upon to serve as acting borough clerk, she will undoubtedly shine even brighter in fulfilling her expanded responsibilities. The Borough of Kenilworth is indeed fortunate to have a governing body that recognizes the value of such extraordinary employees as Kathy Moshida, and I appreciate the opportunity to express the gratitude that Shirley is shared by many others. Sincerely, Shirley Boyden Maxwell.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you very much for everything you're doing.
You're welcome, Mayor.
Okay, I'd like to move on to the finance report. Councilman Puglisi.
Thank you, Mayor. First thing I would like to do is we have our special tax counsel, Bill Ward, here tonight, along with our tax assessor, Kevin Palumbo. And the reason why I've asked them to come here tonight, the mayor and I have, is because, as some of you may know, our largest taxpayer, Merck, has filed a tax appeal for the years 2021 and tax years 2022. Our tax counsel, Mr. Ward, has come up with a resolution, a final resolution, as to tax year 2021 and an interim resolution for 2022. And I would like for both of them to come up, Mr. Ward and Mr. Palumbo, to explain to the public and the members of the audience and the people at home what, from a legal perspective, this settlement entails, and from a consequential perspective, how it'll affect our residents and our taxpayers.
Well, as you all know,
Excuse me
Yes.
1 minute. Based on that, I would like the resolution 128 pulled from the consent agenda to be voted on separate.
Go ahead. Merck is your biggest line item in the town. and they have filed a tax appeal for 2021 and 2022, as Councilman Puglisi has stated. We have negotiated extensively with Peter Zipp, who's counsel for Merck, and we have reached a partial settlement of the pending cases. And the settlement is that 2021 will be withdrawn entirely by Merck in return for a $25 million reduction on the 2022 assessment. And that reduction is without prejudice to either side in the event that we, if the case gets litigated, would seek a higher value or they would seek a lower value. Now, this, the big benefit that I see here for the borough is that you have an entire tax year under appeal that's withdrawn, and there's no money being paid to Merck for that tax year. We are looking, when we get the sales information from Merck, and they have 2 offers on the property, and I've been told by their counsel that both offers are in the range of 220 million, which would, if that all holds true, it would indicate a $100 million reduction from what you currently have them at. So that hasn't been fixed yet. We don't have the agreement that they say they're still negotiating with their buyer, but when we get that, then we will analyze it extensively with Louis Eisenberg, our real estate consultant, and the tax assessor, and then hopefully we can negotiate a settlement of the entire case. But this is an interim settlement, but I think it's a good settlement for the town in that 2021 is being withdrawn entirely.
Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So $25 million reduction is going to add how much to a taxpayer's bill? Approximately
The assessor has estimated that at $297.
$300 a month, a year extra for
A year, yes.
taxpayers. And the only people benefiting from this is Merck once again. They're going to save $25 million. They're going to add that on to the profit they make from selling the property, where we could wait till the property is sold and deal with the person coming in and work out a deal with them instead of agreeing to this $25 million.
Well, and you
I
could
mean, I
also...
understand that you did away with 2021.
Yes.
But I just don't agree with this at all. And to put this on the taxpayers is ridiculous when Merck has done nothing for this borough, period, as far as doing anything for development, giving us anything back. All he ever did was knock buildings down to reduce their taxes, and now they're even still looking to reduce their taxes. He did it here, he did it in Rollway, now they're moving out of here after we gave them the helipad and all of that, to go back to Rollway. I have no respect for Merck, and I don't think it's a good idea to give him any kind of break. Let him take us to court or wait till a new buyer buys it, and then we negotiate with them. and
Well,
us.
the only risk in that scenario that you're outlining is that you could get hit with a much bigger reduction.
We could.
Yes.
But
And then that would be a much bigger hit on the residents.
it's a possibility.
So that's why I'm recommending you do it this way. But again, it's the choice of the
But
council.
once we do this, we're stuck with the $300, no matter what. And then there's a possibility that the new owners that come in want to hit down their tax rate again, and then we're going to lose out another $300, so we're right back in the same ballgame. So I can't see negotiating with a company that's leaving. That's my personal.
Well, they own the property right now. They haven't left, and
But they're leaving. They're leaving.
they are. They're going
Going back to
consolidating.
They're going back to Rollway.
Row. Yes, that's correct.
And my personal belief is, I don't agree, I wanted to bring it out so everybody
Okay.
sitting here knows what's going on. That's it.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you're the professional.
Yes.
You do taxes in Kenilworth and other towns, correct?
Yes.
What other towns do you do besides Kenilworth?
Well, my partners are representing other towns. Cranford is one. I was trying to think of tax appeals. We've done both sides, tax appeals and borough. We've represented West Milford. We've represented Sparta. Various towns.
So in your expert opinion, this is a good deal, is what you're saying?
Yes.
You know, I mean, you know, the fact that, they're our largest taxpayer, I mean, the fact that they're withdrawing, I understand what Mark is saying, and I echo, they're not sharing plow. I mean, they're different, they're certainly a different neighbor than sharing plow was, but it is what it is. We are dealt with the situation where we have our largest taxpayer appealing their taxes, and as part of the settlement agreement, they've agreed to dismiss a whole year's worth of appeal with prejudice, right? So it's gone forever. So if we think $300 is a lot, and it is a lot, I mean, it is. I mean, you know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But if you think that's a lot, I mean, multiply it times 2, which would be for 2021. So, and I actually asked, you know, I was wondering, it seemed like a good deal. It seemed like a real good deal. And obviously, you know, we disagree a little, you know, as to that. But I guess my question is for the tax assessor, just for our own edification, $300 per, that's the average household, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would that, and that also takes in consideration the industrial properties, the commercial properties?
Yeah, this would be spread out amongst everybody, but our concern was the residential impact. So the average assessment in town times the 2021 tax rate is what that number that we're using. So that's how the best information we have to come up with.
So commercial and industrial properties who have a bigger,
Absolutely.
would be paying more than the 300,
Yes.
and the person who has the Cape Cod or whatever, other like,
Yes, that's,
could be paying
again,
less.
that's the average residential, so the person with the 4-bedroom colonial might be a little higher, while the person with the standard Cape Cod that we see up and down the streets of Kenilworth may be a little lower, yes, but that is the average
residential. Okay.
But also, all the new houses that are being built, all the people that have overpaid for houses are going to be jacked up also. They're not going to be paying 300, it's going to be way more than 300. Correct?
I mean, I still have to keep them in uniform. So yeah, these numbers that we're getting right now are not sustainable. You can't do what I refer to as chasing the sale price. So if you pay $800,000 for your house, your assessment's not $800,000 because market comes down, then you open it up to everybody residential appealing because everybody that you put up to $800,000, now their homes are only worth $600,000. Now you have 500 residential appeals. All the cases because the market crashed like it did in 2007, 2008.
I don't have any more questions, but I guess I'll throw it to the mayor. Do you want them, is it okay if they stick around during the public portion in case any members of the public want to ask questions as part of this? Okay. So if Bill and Mr. Palumbo, if you could just sit for the public portion in case any members of the public have any questions regarding the appeal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Department of Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess the biggest question to answer or not answer is everyone's concerned about bulk pickup for this year. As of right now, there is no bulk pickup date. The bids that went out last month, we had no bidders put in for the job, so we rebid it. I'm unaware of any bids that have come in yet. I think they still have a few days left to put bids in. So as of now, there's no bulk pickup for this year. Hopefully we will get it. But in the meantime, if everyone has bulk that they are in dire need to get rid of, you can come up here, pay a small fee. The DPW will then come to your house and pick it up at the curb. Right now, that's the only option we have. On another note, the residents can go to the DPW facility on first Saturday of May, which is May 7th. They accept recycling, e-waste, motor oil, scrap metal, Monday from 8 to 12 on May 7th, and then Monday through Friday from 7 to 2:30. You can also drop off recycling, e-waste, motor oil, scrap metal. The superintendent reported that he has received approval to begin phase 1 of improvements at Lewis Wood Memorial Park, which is 16th Street Park. During this process, the playground equipment, basketball court, and restroom facilities will be closed. The ball fields will remain open. A definitive date of closure has yet to be determined, publicized prior to initiation. He would also like to congratulate Mr. David Kokai, the DPW Employee of the Month from March 2022. Mr. Kokai continues to fill the void within the department along with his foreman duties. Spring cleanup continues on all borough properties. His ultimate goal is to make our properties, parks, and recreation systems clean, safe, functional, healthy, and aesthetically pleasing. And as of March 2022, the superintendent has completed all requirements set forth by Rutgers for Government Services for his CPWM certification. His graduation ceremony is May 25th, 2022. That's pretty much all I got.
Just not similar though, Mark, somebody just told me that, and I just looked it up. PSE&G will pick up your refrigerator for free, and that should give you, yeah, I can't believe it. They'll give you a $100 rebate towards your tax bill. If you give them a refrigerator or freezer, set it up.
So you got to call PSE&G?
Yeah, set it up either online or call.
All right, so there you go. If you got a refrigerator you want to get rid of, Councilman Pickles, he just said call PSE&G, he'll come pick it up.
And just real quick, to add to Mark's, I've been involved with this with Ken and Andrew Casillas, our purchasing agent. If we don't get any bids, the bid is Tuesday, April 26th at 10 a.m. If we don't get any bids for bulk waste by then Ken can confirm this too, and Andrew told me this, that we can actually, our superintendent can negotiate with some of the different companies that are interested, but it's going to be a little different than normal. There's not going to be a north side and a south side. It would be done in a different manner that they would be able to man it, which that's one of the big issues, is our normal way of doing things. None of the companies want to bid on it because they just don't want to, they don't have the manpower or the equipment to do it that way.
So they do sections or?
So they would do, yeah, they would do the north side section in like a week instead of 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
And maybe the south side, since it's so big, break that into 2 sections. And, but Superintendent Calypso is aware of that, and Ken's aware of it, Andrew's aware of it. It's probably going to go without any bids, only because of the way it was set up originally. So once it gets to that point, and if nobody bids by the 26th at 10 a.m., then we can, Michael Calypso can actually negotiate with and get bids on a revised type of pickup. So we will get a pickup done. It's not if, but it's going to be when at this point. So we're just kind of at the mercy because nobody's bidding on it the way it's been put out there, as we've always done it.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, the way we used to do it isn't working, then why haven't we just changed it from making it to where they got a whole week to pick up the...
We didn't know that until he put it out to bid, and nobody bid on it. And then when he reached out to all the contractors that we dug up, they all said that they just couldn't do it under the guidelines that the bid was put out in. So they want to kind of, they can do it and they're going to bid on it, but they're going to have to do it a different way, that's all.
Right,
I guess
let's
in the
work that
future,
out.
our bids have to be changed. then.
Right.
But we can't do it this way until we go to public bid twice and nobody bids on it. So we have to set it up a certain way in order to have it, right, Ken, you want to explain that?
So we can't set it up to...
In other words, if you would have went out with a new bid spec,
Right.
and if, say you got nobody again, you would have to bid it a third time. This is trying to save you time to try and still squeeze in 2.
So if our initial bid went out where they have a week's worth of...
The bid has to be advertised and out for 10 days.
Right, so I'm talking about next year.
Yeah, next year,
If we put in the bid that they have a whole
if
week...
it works out and the governing body's okay with, you see some towns, you got bulk out there for 3 weeks.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, so.
I mean,
people put it out way before it's supposed to hear anyway, so it's out there for at least a weekend.
just something.
Yeah, but at least it's got to be taken care of, it's just working on it, on the details.
Great.
That's why the specs were not changed.
Right, I'm just, we're already in April, late April, so by the time we actually come to an agreement and get the pickup, it's going to be at least the summer.
No, they said, we had spoken, Michael and myself had spoken to some different contractors that were interested, and they're saying they could do it come May, early June. So it'll be done before the summer, And it would be for that and in October, so it would still be 2 pickups.
And the only other recourse that I can see possibly is where we have a couple of 40-yard dumpsters on the borough DPW lot, where people are allowed to drive in with their stuff and throw it in there, and then once it's full, we get it removed, bring the dumpster back. And that way, that's a continual service. We don't even have to worry about twice a year. So that's something to look into.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, they got the space back there to do it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think the 2 times a year for like senior citizens and people like that have people that carry stuff out or they store it in their garage, it's tough for them to transport it there, so they kind of look forward to the full pickup at their
I mean,
house.
but we can make arrangements for senior citizens that they call where the DPW can go help them. We always can make arrangements for senior citizens, so we can do that. But I think that's something we definitely need to look into.
Okay, that's a good idea. Good suggestion. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay. Thank you. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple things. The Little League Parade was on April 9th. The police department did a good job securing 14th Street and the boulevard for the parade route. They got off the parade without any rain, thank God, and it turned out to be a really, really nice day. It was a little damp and chilly, but overall it was a good day for Little League. Also, real quick on the fireworks. I was at the Board of Ed meeting to preempt my report. They need to get a letter from the town requesting use of the fields. I don't know if that was done yet, Kathleen, or not? No, so they need to get a letter to the Board of Ed requesting the use of the fields and their property, and a copy of our insurance certificate insuring us first, them as second, in case of any type of accident.
I think we have the insurance already.
Okay. Yeah, they need a copy of that and just a request letter that we want to have it on those two, the date with the rain date.
What is the date? We have a date?
The
Yeah.
25th of June, and the rain date is the 26th.
Correct. Into the public safety report. On April 12th, Kennewick Police Department units responded to a call of several unidentified males breaking into cars near 194 Boulevard, which is, I believe, on the west end, Chief?
Yeah, down by
Yep. The police units engaged in a foot pursuit with some of the suspects into Cranford, where the individuals unfortunately were lost. They got away. Cranford Police Department reported that the suspects eventually stole another vehicle in their town and then fled. And unfortunately, 6 to 7 vehicles in the area of the Boulevard and Epping Drive were reported broken into during the subsequent canvass of the area. So apparently they broke into these cars. Our guys chased them out of town into Cranford, where they stole another car and then took off. So like Chief Seuss said at the last meeting, when he got up and read his concerns about the current Attorney General guidelines for stolen vehicles and pursuits and chasing the bad guys the police are kind of handcuffed now in New Jersey. It's a tough situation, and I'm glad nobody got hurt, and hopefully in the future we can catch them. But I know
Lock your doors.
Chief, these aren't windows being busted, it's just open the door.
They're going up and down streets, just trying every day.
Yes.
Yep.
Pretty much every driveway, every...
People are leaving their fobs in the car.
And we've told the residents more than enough times to lock your doors.
Yeah.
Keep fobs in the house.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, make sure you lock your doors, keep your key fobs, don't put your wallets or your laptops or any of that
They
stuff
got
in
the
the
key
car.
fob and the garage door opener in the car.
That too, yep. Also on Monday, May 2nd, Chief Seuss and the Public Safety Committee will conduct interviews for the vacant lieutenant and sergeant positions on the police department. And the posting period for the promotions closed on April 9th. Chief Seuss received several quality resumes and letters of intent for the open positions. So that will be coming. And Kenilworth PD will once again be running their junior police academy this year from Monday, June 27th to Friday, July 1st. And they expect an even larger turnout than last year, probably due to COVID, and have a great week of activities planned right now. Applications are being done online at the borough website and through the Kenilworth Police Department social media accounts. Anyone interested just has to scan the QPR code, and they'll be directed to the application page to submit the information that's required to put their children in that Junior Police Academy, which is a great program. And Chief Seuss would like to commend Lieutenant Bob Cox, Sergeant Glenn Sandel, Detective Sean Caverick, and Officers Travis Diltz, Anthony Tanks, Leo Philippe, and Brett Byron, who all volunteered their own time last week to help paint the parish kitchen of the Ignite Methodist Church on the Boulevard to get it ready for their community Easter Sunday breakfast. And that was at the request of Pastor Nova. The officers did a great job, and they're great examples of those who unselfishly serve others during the Easter holiday season, and they did a great job.
There's pictures on social media, if anyone's on Facebook, Pastor Nova, and it really looks fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great job. And she was extremely happy too.
Beautiful job. So nice to see community come together and help the church.
Absolutely, absolutely. And last but not least, I got a text today from Eileen Keating, who is our court administrator, and she was we had spoken about it at, I don't know, it was last council meeting or 2 council meetings ago, about hiring a violation clerk position. Unfortunately, the person backed out of the job, so the person that she had planned on having, and we were going to have a resolution tonight originally, Kathleen will tell you.
Yes.
She decided to either stay where she was or go somewhere else. So she has some other prospects that she's going to interview, and hopefully one of them will take the job, and will be prepared at the next meeting to bring it up and backfill that spot. They had somebody as an interim filling in, but she decided that she was done, so that's why we have that vacancy now. So it's been open for probably a year or 2 now, so we're still trying to get that filled. And that's it.
I have a question, dog warden. Do you have any updates on the dog warden? I know we talked that this person was going to canvass the town. I'm thinking he'd be bringing about 100 doorbells a week if he's going to get. So I wanted to give it a little bit of time before I asked if he's had the opportunity to get out in Kenilworth and ring bells, and if he has, where has he been?
I haven't spoken to the door warden yet, but I can follow up and find
Can you
out.
follow up?
Is that, I don't know if that falls under myself or if that's under somebody else, the door warden spot, but
I think I left it in, well, I don't know the sense I have to say it. He was going to work under Chief Seuss.
So I guess then that would fall under you.
okay.
Report. Just where he's going and what he's doing. Okay, thank you. Planning and zoning, Councilman Fenestrella.
Thank you, Mayor. Not really much going on. Last week, we had the new hire of a construction clerk begin, and from what I've been told, she's doing a very good job. There were 2 resolutions passed in the last meeting on April 14th, and the next meeting will be held May 12th, 6:30 work session, 7 p.m. meeting, and all is encouraged to attend. That's all I have to say, Mayor.
Thank you. Recreation and Fire, Councilman Pence.
The only thing I have is for recreation, it's the 2 projects at Demaria Park and 16th Street. As the engineer said, we're at 80% of the soccer field plan for the barrio is done, but we also have to keep up with the county for the money. We have to give them some type of update as far as the playgrounds go and the field, so we get that money spent.
Absolutely.
That's all.
He'll send that to me, and I'll send it to the borough engineer. Okay. Health, Education, and Human Services, Councilwoman Desiri.
Thank you, Mayor. At the Board of Education meeting on April 21st, the board passed the resolution to send the referendum proposals to the state. The meeting included the architect's plans, discussion regarding the tax impact. There also have been meetings with communications teams and different residents and stakeholders regarding the referendum. If anybody wants to watch this meeting, they could go to the Kenilworth BOE YouTube channel and pull up for April 21st. It is, I believe, now posted. That's all I have for the Board of Ed. The Board of Health, today was the blood drive. I don't have any information on it yet, on what was done and what was not done, so I will report on that next time. I am happy to report, well, not happy, but there's 28 positive cases reported in Kenilworth. I'm happy to report that that has gone down quite a bit in the month of March than it had from February. That's all for the Board of Health. And now, the seniors I met with last week, or 2 weeks ago, and a lot of the issues were taken care of.
Great.
And they're happy with that. And now, for the library, I just have a couple of announcements, and I'll be done. Thursday, April 21st, the Arnie's program will be held from 2 to 4 p.m. Thursday, April 28th, the Night Arnie's program will be held from 6 to 8 p.m. Tuesday, May 3rd, the Paper Pals will meet from 2 to 4 p.m. And for the children's programming, Thursday, April 21st, they will be doing a Leap into Science Balance Workshop. Will be held at 3:30 to 4 p.m. for ages 3 and up. Children will explore the concept of balance through play and stories. Tuesday, April 26th, Boogie Woogie Babies will be held from 10:30 to 11 a.m. for ages newborn to 4 years old. There will be singing and dancing, which will help with the development of fine motor skills and encourage socialization. Wednesday, April 27th, Good Times String Band will be held from 10:30 to 11 a.m., where families can enjoy foot tapping, knee slapping, banjo music, and songs. Friday, April 22nd and April 29th are Fun Friday crafts for kids ages 4 to 9, which will be held at 3:30 p.m., but registration is required as space is limited. And that's all I have for the library. And that's all I have for everything.
Thank you very much. Okay, Resolution 128 and 131 have been pulled. Is there a motion to consider consideration for the consent agenda? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Okay.
Resolutions 121 to 130 are listed on the consent agenda and will be enacted by one motion. All items will be recorded individually and full in the minutes.
121 through, I'm sorry,
130,
I think 20.
The exception of 128 has been pulled.
exception of 128.
Right.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Excuse me, yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
To vote on 121. I'm sorry, 128.
132?
No, 128.
128. Do I need a motion to accept 128 for the Merck appeal?
Do we need a motion for that? Or-
Yes.
Okay, like a motion to, for the resolution 128? Which
I'll make
is
that motion.
The resolution for the Merck tax appeal.
Second.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
No.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay.
We have 3 ordinances tonight. First ordinance is ordinance 2022-04, an ordinance supplementing Chapter 170, Streets and Sidewalks and Sidewalk Maintenance for residential and non-residential sidewalks by owners.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is to set forth standards and requirements for the construction, reconstruction, replacement, repair, alteration, and maintenance of sidewalks and curbs within the Borough of Kenilworth. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-04 for introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Motion, Councilman Finestrella and Zimmerman.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2022-04, entitled "An Ordinance Amending and Supplementing Chapter 170 Streets and Sidewalks, Article 7 Sidewalk Maintenance, Section 170-27 through 170-30, to provide for maintenance and repair of residential and non-residential sidewalks by owners of abutting land of the Borough of Kenilworth Municipal Code." Heretofore introduced and does now pass on first reading, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on May 18, 2022, at 6:30 p.m. or as soon as thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting of the Borough Council, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized to direct and publish the ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage. Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
We have a second ordinance, ordinance 2022-05, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 1, General Provisions, General Penalties, Section 1-1, Violations and Penalties of the Borough of Kenilworth Municipal Code.
The purpose of this ordinance is to amend the general penalty provision in the code of the Borough of Kenilworth so that it is in accordance with NJSA 40:49-5, which sets forth the penalties for violations of municipal ordinances. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-05 for introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2022-05, entitled "An Ordinance Amending and Supplementing Chapter 1, General Provisions, Article 1, General Penalties, Section 1-1, Violations and Penalties of the Borough of Kenilworth Municipal Code," heretofore introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance will be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on May 18, 2022, at 6:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at a regular meeting place of the Borough Council, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading at a time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Third ordinance. Nope, it's okay.
Okay. Third ordinance is ordinance 2022-06, an ordinance authorizing the Borough of Kenilworth to enter into a lease agreement with Kenilworth Little League for the use of unpaved portion of Halsey Street between 14th Street and 13th Street, between Block 30, Lot 8.01, Block 29, Lot 1, and Block 28, Lot 1, more commonly known as Kenilworth Little League parking lot for youth, recreation, baseball, and softball purposes.
Okay, this ordinance authorizes the borough to execute a lease agreement between the Borough of Kenilworth and the Kenilworth Little League for borough-owned property. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 20-2205 for introduction?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Next, I'd like a motion to open the floor to the public.
Is there a reason why you didn't do a roll call on that?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think we
I
only
skipped
did
ahead of the roll call. Thank you.
I think we only did one roll call so far.
Wait,
Oh, for the one before?
yeah, it's-
Okay, I'm sorry.
all right, we need the,
All right, so for 2022-05,
Right.
we do a roll call. Councilwoman
This is the-
Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
And for ordinance 2022-06, can I, Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to open the floor to the public?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Okay, does anyone have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth? Please come forward and state your name and address.
Ms. Ray Doppel, 70 Pembroke Drive.
Hi, Ross.
Thank you all very much for moving the ordinance along. I feel a lot safer now, and hopefully it'll start getting done sooner rather than later. The other thing I was kind of curious about was if anybody has taken a walk or a drive up to Lenape since they've done all of the vegetation removal and things. I'm very concerned about what I think, in my common sense vein, that there could be possibly more flooding for us in the future because of the job that they've done there. Just by walking over after the storm the other night, there's ponding all over the place. And I'm on a pen pal basis with the state and the county, and I don't think they're thrilled. But you know what? It's a concern for me because I
course,
have
flooding is a big
underground
concern.
ponds at my house, and they've been going off a lot more lately. Do they communicate with the town council about what
No.
they're doing?
No?
I'm in agreement with you. I don't know why they took all that vegetation out,
No one
put
knows.
wooden
Because of the
fences
levee.
up, but they put wooden fences up, which make no sense.
Well, to them, they make a lot of sense. They're going to prevent you from falling into the brook after you fall down the hill. I'm not
With the
kidding.
big gaps between them.
With the big gaps. And they want to prevent people from walking on the levee. It's not prevent, I've watched the fishermen.
Right.
Yeah, I've done that.
Well,
No, have you?
Not lately, but
I don't know how well of a use of funds it was, and I think we're all in agreement that we don't really understand.
Yeah, I've been
So
asked.
the claim is that it's supposed to protect the dam, and it's going to help eliminate flooding.
I've asked-
However, no one agrees.
Yeah, I decided today to ask my friend in Trenton.
Oh.
Somebody would come, I don't know, it's not a friend, it's a court
I understand.
friend. Okay, good. I knew you would. For somebody to let me go, to take me to see the dam, because I need to see how the dam works. Because I'm not a good email. I understand a lot of what they're telling me, but I'm a visualizer. I need to see. But I think that they've done a terrible job there, and I think it's to the detriment of all of the local towns, and I don't know why they don't communicate, and nobody's, up in arms about it.
One of the things behind that dam, Roz, when they built it, was it needs to be dredged. If you notice, there's really no water retention capability because of all the sod that's washed, all the soot that's washed down from the mountains. But I was actually talking to somebody, and they said it's contaminated because when the shotgun range was there, all the lead is in that mud that's filled in that whole retention area that's supposed to hold water. So now that it's all filled with mud, the water, you're right, just ponds out and spreads out and floods everybody. So until they get a grip on what they need to do with the EPA and DEP to dredge that and take that contaminated soil out of there that has all the lead shot in it. They eventually switched over to steel shot, but for years and years they had lead shot and it contaminated that soil, according to somebody there.
Can they remove that? Can they just take it? No?
They're not gonna do that.
They can, but it's
That's
costly.
swamp area, how much
Well,
money it costs
the-
them to remove? It's never happened.
The EPA will not allow anyone to dredge either.
I did ask them about
They
it.
won't.
Yeah, there are
They
no
won't allow
plans
it.
to dredge at this
Correct.
time.
No, I asked them,
I don't
too. They said
understand
it's just
that
too
either.
expensive right now to do that. It's,
Tax dollars are...
Plus all that lead by now is set, pushing things all the way down, and if they dig it up now, it's just bringing it all back up to the surface. It defeats the purpose, it's so buried. And nobody's ever gonna build there. Plus, that's not really a dam that's there. It's not where you can shut it down to where the water can't flow. The water's constantly flowing through it. So that's not the dam, that's the issue.
Well,
It's a flood, that's not the issue.
It is a
it
flood zone.
regulates the flow, that's about it, though.
But it's not a dam.
It's not a
It's not
dam,
a dam.
technically.
all right, I was just curious. But again, I thank you all very much for the anticipated sidewalk repairs.
Excellent. Thank you, Roz. Anyone else? Okay, there's nothing else to be brought before the public portion. Can I have a motion to close the floor?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone else have anything to say for the good and welfare of the borough?
No.
If there's nothing else to be brought before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everyone. Nice to see the Boy Scouts here today.